Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the truth behind wedding planning panic, how it affects you, how it can affect you, should it affect you, and what you should do about it. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back. So I just sat with another client in the studio today, and if you don't know who I am and you're following the channel, my name is Ron from Lemelin Photography. I run a full-service photography studio in Western Massachusetts. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. But today we want to talk about the panic that comes along wedding couples when they're planning their wedding day. There is a truth that happens when it comes to a bride and a groom sitting down across from a vendor and they're talking to the venue or anything else like that. There is a truth that comes along when they realize there's so much stuff and it can be very overwhelming. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is staying calm, and vendors. I want to talk to you about keeping your clients calm. And some people are like, well, after they hire me, then I'll help them with it. No, your job is to help them before they hire you. When they come to you, that's your job, is to help them, because your reputation for being helpful will go a lot further than you think. So I was just talking to a bride this morning, and we were sitting across in the studio, and she was going through the 8-hour package and things like that, and she remembered something about the cocktail hour and doing formal pictures and first look prior to the ceremony. And she went like really white, and she's like, oh my God, there's not going to be enough time to do that, because if we're going to be doing this, we're not going to have enough time. So instantly she went like really white. It's like, oh my God, we're not going to have enough time. It's like, well, hold on a second. I said, let's just do a rough timeline right now. If your ceremony is going to be X, formal picture is going to be X, first look is going to be X, getting ready pictures are going to be X. So your clock starts here. So your clock from here to here, everything is going to be included inside of that, and that brings you to, let's say, like 9 o'clock or something like that. And he's like, oh, okay, good. Okay, well, that makes me feel better then. Anything you can do to help your client feel better is what your number one priority should be. It should be the first thing that you should be doing no matter what. So be a good vendor about that and help them. So tip number one is panic is normal. It means you care. So the panic part that comes along is it shows you have a concern for X, whatever that's going to be. Do I have enough time to do this? Or should we do the pictures beforehand? Or should we do this? There's no panic that really should be like, because if you're hopefully 9 months or more away from your wedding, you should have already had this hammered out and crossed over and dealt with at this time. So when you're dealing with a year and a half, it's like you've got plenty of time to worry about. If you were under 6 months and you're questioning your timeline now, then I definitely would be concerned about it. Pro tip number 2, be selective with who you have influencing you to help you on your wedding day. Too many people giving opinions could be overwhelming with too many options. So-and-so feels this way. My mother-in-law feels this way. My mother feels this way. My dad feels this way. My groom feels this way. Your fiance and parents and best man, maid of honor should be your inner circle. These should be the people that should be leaning into you for helping you with doing the things that you need to do, giving you advice and helping you with things like that. Anybody outside that circle can have an opinion, but it doesn't and should not influence you into panic. Anybody that's bringing negative things up all the time, well, oh, you're going to worry about this and we're going to worry about that. I definitely would not focus, have those people in your inner circle. Anybody that brings peace and calmness and rational solutions to your subject that you're dealing with should be the ones you should have in your inner circle. Anybody that does not or borderlines the negativity part of that, just keep them at a close arm's length distance. All right, pro tip number 3, whatever you're focused on now, on making sure that you get fixed now with timeline or dress or scenarios or vows or whatever it is, the day of the wedding, you should not be worrying about it. Meaning the stress of planning fades before you walk down the aisle. Everything has been put into motion. Everything has been set in stone. Everything has been adjusted, readjusted, filled, whatever you needed to do. All of that stuff is done prior to the wedding. So on your wedding day, you want to make sure that you are flowing and functioning in a peaceful, calmful way. Your wedding day should not be how many people that you can impress by the things that you've done. Don't let what other people might think, oh, that's kind of cheesy. Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, that's kind of, it's not their thing. If that's what you want to have on your day, then do it. Like, oh, everybody thinks bubbles are so, 1985 and not trendy and things like that. But you want to walk down the aisle with bubbles? Do it. Who cares what anybody else is going to think? If it's something that you want to do and it's doable, weigh the option, go through the pros and cons, of course, meaning bubbles have soap and lather, which means it could be on the floor and it could slip. So try not to do bubbles on a dance floor, I guess. But just weigh the pros and cons to that. Is what feels heavy now won't feel heavy then. Meaning there's going to be a little bit of pressure that comes along with what you're planning now that is okay and feasible and doable. As it gets closer, it gets less and less, unless you're second guessing and questioning, but hopefully you're not. The wedding day, it won't feel that pressure of that you feel now. And that's a good thing. For you to be able to feel the pressure now when you're 8 months away, 9 months away, a year away, that's okay. Sleep on it. Bonus tip. Sleep on it. If you're not sure about what to do between X and X, sleep on it. Put it down on a piece of paper, sleep it over, contemplate it, come back the next day with a fresh new look, do a pros and cons list on the benefits of doing whatever that situation is, and then make a decision a day or two later based on how you feel. I cannot emphasize enough. I just sat down with a couple in the studio and they mentioned vibe. They mentioned personality. They mentioned instinct. They mentioned a groove. And what I wanted them to do was when they left from me, I wanted to emphasize to them, remember how you felt when you were sitting down talking to your vendor that you were looking to hire. When you were talking to that vendor on the phone, remember how you felt. Your instincts don't lie. Sometimes they can deceive us and things like that, but they don't lie. If something feels off, something doesn't feel genuine. Here's an example. Somebody did a engagement session and with a photographer, and they got the images back and they looked great and they were very happy about that. But they didn't like the personality of the individual doing it because they felt like they were too standoffish. They didn't get to know the wedding couple. They didn't get to know their friends and family that were around them for things like that. So for them, they were like, she did a great job, but it felt off. It felt weird. It felt like she was just doing her job by calling names. Next, next, next. And in that time, there's a pressure that comes along making sure you get everything that the bride and groom want to get. So I get that part of making sure that you're doing your job and getting everything that they want. But there is an element of there must be a communication between the two. There must be a vibe between the two that I understand what you're saying. I want to laugh, I want to joke, I want to play, and I want you guys to feel comfortable behind the camera. So my job is to come in and make you feel comfortable in that sense. And when you walk away from a meeting and you get back in the car, you're like, oh, you know what? I really felt like he wasn't thorough enough, or I really feel like he could have done more, or his packages are kind of vague, or I really don't understand how the tiers work and things like that. Those are all things, if you don't make it simple for the couple, it overwhelms them with trying to figure things out. And if they have to try and figure something out, you just lost them. You just lost them. So I always ask my couples, hey, go to my Google page. This is me. This is my personality. This is my energy. If I'm not a good fit for you, no harm, no foul. See you later. I'll take you out of the calendars. Good luck to you. And I want you to find the person that best fits your vibe. So when you have a good experience with them, I say that again, go to the car, talk to them, talk amongst yourselves. If I'm not a good fit for you, let me know, no problem at all. But get that gut feeling that you have, and it's possible that one person might like somebody over the other. If that's the case, pros and cons list, go through the list of figuring out which one's the best fit, money-wise, package-wise, personality-wise, vibe-wise, thoroughness-wise, experience-wise, whatever that is, and then make a decision based on that. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change your mind. What you feel like 3 months from now might be different than how you feel right now. My professional advice to you is don't make that decision the night before the wedding. Set in stone 3 months in advance everything that's going to happen, and there's no changes along the way unless somebody gets sick or something like that, unless something has to be rearranged. Like, oh my God, the ring bearer said they're not going to do it, so I got to find somebody else to do the ring bearer. Little things like that are unpredictable, and little things like that are okay. But as far as your vows, and as far as the first look, no first look, ceremony, formal pictures and things like that, set all that stuff in stone. You're allowed to change your mind, just don't do it too close to the ceremony wedding date, because it might be a little bit more overwhelming to rearrange something that you've been set on. Does that make sense? Asking for help is not a sign of weakness or failure. Ask someone for help. It can be overwhelming trying to do so much stuff in a short period of time, or you're trying to do it because you don't want outside influence. Ask for help. Allow people to help you get a little bit more of a separate look from you. Hey, Julie, that's a great idea. How about, or have you considered, meaning, I don't want to do first look, I want to do first look, he doesn't want to do first look. Okay, Joey, let's think about this for a second. Here's the benefit to doing a first look. It gets the jitters out of the way. It gets the uncertainty out of the way. It gets the emotions out of the way when you guys are by yourself, so you feel a little bit more comfortable and settled as she's walking down the aisle. Have you considered that? So just weigh the options when it comes to that. So ask for help. It's not a failure. It's like, hey, can I bounce something off of you? I have wedding couples all the time call me up. Hey, what do you think about this or this? And it's just sometimes an outside voice making an opinion that kind of helps them sway, you know what, I'm going to keep it the same. Or, you know what, I didn't think of that. So nobody's going to remember the shade of the napkins. No one's going to remember the centerpieces, and they were not the same shade of colors as the napkins or the thing. Nobody's going to remember that. Don't base your wedding based on trying to impress your guests. Make it memorable. Make it memorable to the point where, like, oh my God, that DJ had us dancing all night long. Oh, do you remember that group picture we did with all 75 people? That was so much fun to be able to do something like that. They're going to remember the atmosphere. They're going to remember the food. They're going to remember the music. And they're going to remember those things that are there. Don't do things in your wedding to impress other people. Don't base your decisions on you. Use Pinterest as an inspiration, not perfection. Use Pinterest to inspire you color palette wise, vision board wise. That's what Pinterest is for. If you have to like duplicate it to the T where it has to be exactly like that or else it's not good, there's a false perfection that comes along with something like that. And it can be very depressing sometimes if something doesn't look exactly like the Pinterest board that you have. Use Pinterest for an inspiration and more than anything else when it comes to that. Don't look at it as perfection, just look at it as an inspiration. So, all right, thank you everyone for coming back to the channel to listen to this video about wedding planning panic. There is a little bit of that overwhelming stuff, and I just gave you 10, 11 tips on help yourself not panic in the midst of planning. So don't panic in the midst of planning. Try to really step back and take everything in stride and sleep on it. That's the best advice I can give you. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Remember to hit that like button. Anything that you feel like I didn't catch or I could have done better on, put them down in the comments about other things that wedding couples or vendors have seen other wedding couples panic about and how you can help them. So we are here to serve these wedding couples and help them get through their day. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel. My name is Ron from Lemelin Photography. And remember to smile more because it sure does hurt less. Peace.